Takip na mukha. O, kita nyo? Mga totoong tao talaga yan.
Galing. Ayan. Nakasandal sa pader. DSP. Ayan. Manyaring mag-oath muna po kayo. Attorney Alberto, please. Tumayo muna kayo.
Pakitaas po ang kanang kamay. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding. Thank you.
Daghang salamat. And with that, I turn Senator Bato de la Rosa and the other defiants here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have here two sets of witnesses, no? All of them coming from Bukidnon. One group is coming from Don Carlos, Bukidnon. Mr. Rolin Padios, Barangay Kagawad, o Poblacion Norte, Don Carlos. Asa ka? Saan ka? Mr. Rolin Padios, will you please raise your hand? Salamat. And Mr. Miss Jocelyn Movera, please. Thank you. Miss Andrea Rizaba. Salamat. Ang second set of witnesses ay si Mr. Jesse Jem Hinerio. Thank you. Miss Marty Jane Divino. Salamat. Unang-una, magsumikap tayo mag-Tagalog, ha? Para maintindihan tayo ng buong Pilipinas. Kaya niyo mag-Tagalog? Kung hindi nyo kaya, mag-Bisaya kayo, hindi pa interpret. Kami dalawa ni Senate President mag-interpret.
Pwede sila mag-Bisaya na tubag, pwede sila sumagot ng Bisaya and then interpret mo na lang.
Yes po.
General Senator Bato.
Yes po, Madam Chair, Senate President. Dangkagan at Don Carlos. Unang-una, nagpasalamat kami sa inyo at buo yung kalooban nyo na pumunta dito at magsalita at walang cover na kahit kunti sa mukha. You are a true Mindanaoan. Warrior spirit of people from Mindanao. Talagang hindi natatakot. Pero kung may kunting takot man kayo, tanggalin nyo yan, ha? Andito kami ni SP. We will protect you by all means.
Daya, di ba?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sa unang adlaw, gitawagan ko sa atong ISB, sa atong lungsod sa Don Carlos, si ISB Mateo.
SB Mateo. Tinawagan daw siya ni SB Mateo.
Naingon sa sako nga nanginahanglan siya og tao nga mga napulo ka buhok.
He said to me that he need people, around 10 of them.
Ang tubag na ko siya, okay, may problema basta kay unsa man na trabaho, makasapit sila or dili. Ang ingon niya nga makasapi daw.
Ang sagot niya,
ito po yung People's Initiative.
ang sagot ko is,
na sinasabi ayuna.
wala problema, okay. Ang tanong ko, kung magkakapera ba sila? At ang sagot ni ko siya ay, okay, magkapera sila.
Ang kasunod na adlaw by Friday, this January 26, may schedule ako mga meeting sa barangay, farmers meeting. Ako manggod ang chairman sa agriculture. So, atong namong kapitan ay balo na may farmers meeting at mga time.
So the following day, I called for a farmers meeting. Alam yun ng aming barangay kapitan.
Mga banda kay kato, mga 1 PM man minasugod ng meeting, mga banda alas 2, nagtawag si konsihal sa ako, nga nana sila sa barangay court sa among barangay doon sa covered court, ay nangita sila binyo. So nagingon ko, ma-brown out man sir, wala ay, kung sa okay na kay kamay na sila.
So, around 1 o'clock, nag-start kami. Then 2 o'clock, tumawag si Konsihal Mateo. And nagtatanong sa Binyo. At sabi, hindi pwede dahil burnout. Sabi mo, burnout dito.
Mo to nag-ingon ko sa akong kuan sa among administrative na kung pwede ba sila mo meeting dito kay gamay ra man sila. Kung siya nga di pwede i-burnout ko, kira man daw sila kay gamay ra, di ko sila mo gamit ang kuryente. Ito ba ito among kuan ngayong administrative, ngayon siya nga okay lang, may problema kay gamay, dali ra man po.
So, in short, nagkaayusan na.
Okay.
Kasi kunti lang at walang hindi gagamit ng kuryente. Kunti lang naman sila mag-uusap.
Pagkatapos tapos ng meeting na mo sa farmers meeting, iatuan ko na sila dito sa covered court. Tungod man kay nga kung mga sakot na napulo kung bukong ipangayon nila, tuwa na dito.
Okay, so pinuntahan kami doon sa covered court dahil yung 10 tao na hinihingi nila, ando na.
Pagkatapos, nagsabi sila na pando ko no, yung covered court may ingay daw, sabak na tayo.
Okay?
So kung okay, basig dito sa among meetingan, pwede ba?
So, umayos na sa covered court dahil nga maingay. So, lipat doon sa minitingan ninyo kanina. Previous sa Binyo. Okay.
Nagsunod sila sa ako, dito na sila nag-meeting. Pagkatapos na briefing na sila, ako hindi ko kayo na-focus sa ila kasi sila man ang i-briefing, hindi ako.
Okay, so hindi ka nakapokus sa briefing dahil doon sila nakapokus sa 10 na daldala mong tao. Okay.
Kana lang siguro, sir.
So, yung grupo mo nandyan kasama mo? Sino yung kasama mo?
Ari, lingguan, sir.
Doha. So, pwedeng matanong, pangalan, Jocelyn Mobera? Jocelyn, anong pinrami sa inyo o anong request nila sa inyo? Yung sa gihatag sa inyo yung sa gihangyo nila sa inyo
Ana sila pag ingon nga magpa-perma daw mi sa mga tao dayon inadlawan mi nila og 1.5.
So, sabi nila, magpapirma kami sa mga tao at bibigyan kami ng bayad na 1.5 a day. Sino ang bigyan ng 1.5?
Katong nag-adto dito nga nag-orient sa amo si Adonis Gonzales o Adonis Ragasi.
Adonis Gonzales at Adonis Ragasi. Sino yan sila? Taga Bukidnon, hindi?
Kato si Ragasi taga Cagayan, then kato si Adonis nga isa si Gonzales taga Davao do siya.
Ragasi is from Cagayan de Oro and Adonis Gonzales is from Davao City.
Yes.
Okay, so ano nangyari afterwards?
Kuha sila og katong form dayon gipatanaw nila sa MOA, gi-explain nga kani nga form mao ni inyohang papirmahan sa mga tao nga ang kung mangutana sila igno lang ninyo nga NGO ni dayon kanang nag-explain din sila nga kanang sa baghoon daw ang ekonomiya sa economic constitution na katong pinagi sa People's Initiative. Dayon among kuan ilang pangalan, kompleto nga middle name, dayon apelyido, precinct number dayon.
Okay, so
Kay ang isa daw ato nga kay duha man ang papirmahan, ang isa daw ato nga form ila daw ipasa sa Comelec, then ang isa ipasa daw sa Congress.
dalawang pieces of document ang pinapirmahan sa amin. Ang isa ipapasa doon sa Congress, ang isa ipapasa sa Comelec.
Yes po.
Yan ang sabi nila.
Oo.
So in exchange, anong ipapromise niyo sa mga tao na pipirma?
Wala, ignon lang na mo nga sa Comelec, kay ipasa sa Comelec o ipasa sa Congress.
Kayo na nagpapapirma, anong natatanggap ninyo?
Katurang paan, 1.5 ang adlaw. Dayon,
Ilang araw kayo nag-ikot?
wala gay minag isa ka adlaw kay nga kuan mangud ko sa kapitan. Nabulabog ba na?
Wala po.
Nasukuhang kapitan, gipa-stop.
Ipa-stop ni Kapitan.
Oh,
Sino Kapitan nyo?
si Kapitan Alex Salvania.
Bakit daw pina-stop niya?
Kay wala daw nag-agi sa barangay.
Kayo hindi dumaan sa barangay, kaya pina-stop niya. Very good, Kapitan. Congratulations for making that move. Pero kayo nakatanggap kayo ng 1.5 para
Opo.
umikot. Galing doon sa 2 tao na yon na binanggit mo
Opo,
kanina.
Opo.
So, wala kayong pinapromise sa mga AX o tupad?
Wala.
Ikaw, hindi kayo pinapromisan?
Wala.
Ang promise lang is 1.5 every day.
Opo. Yun lang po.
Okay, thank you. Sino nakapag-advance sa inyo ng 3,000?
Bali po ang binigay sa amin, 1.5 po a day, tapos in advance po yung isang araw, bali 3,000 po yung natanggap namin.
Magkano?
3,000 po.
So, 3,000.
Opo.
So, naka-advance ka ng 1.5, naging 3,000 na natanggap mo.
Yes po.
So imagine, Madam Chair, imagine ilang libong barangay yan sa buong Pilipinas kung pangako nila ay 1.5 per person. Naku, hundreds of millions of pesos siguro pinag-uusapan natin dito. Hindi to ordinaryong tao pasimuno nito. Maraming pera. So, salamat sa mga taga Bukidnon. Saludo ko sa inyo. Saludo
Madam Chair.
sa baruganan ninyo.
Follow-up question. Ay, within
Tanong muna ako sandali.
Okay po, Madam Chair.
Binigyan ba kayo ng ID nito? Change Philippines? Itong ID na ito, sa inyo ito, nakita nyo?
Binigyan po.
Change Philippines.
Yes po.
Ano ang purpose nito? Bakit kayo binigyan ng ganitong ID?
Sabi, yung baguhin daw yung economic.
Baguhin ang economic.
Economic man yung sabi nila nga.
Tapos hindi yung tinanong nga, di ba? Wala mo nag-isisi pero dapat iputan na ninyo. Economic, baguhin economic, tapos ang laman sa petisyon, political amendment na magbubuto ang Kongreso as one. So yun nga, ipasabot lang ko lang sa inyo na gilad na mo. You're being fooled. Economic kuno ang babaguhin, tapos political yung nakalagay sa petisyon na i-amend yung provision ng konstitusyon na magiging voting as one ng Senado at Kongreso. So yun lang, maraming salamat ha. Thank you. Meron pa gusto mong salita sa inyo? Ako ko ito naman kay Senator Lisa. Meron pa gusto mong salita? Ay, ito, sige. Pagdangkagan mo, Kinon.
Doon naman sa amin, kami talaga yung unang pinuntahan, mga around 7:30 ng umaga. Doon kasi kami, pag umaga, doon kami sa area ba, sa sakahan ba. Tapos, may biglang dumating na limang motor, naka-complete gear. Akala namin mga riders lang ba. Tapos, bumaba sila sa tapat ng bahay. Sabi na, ito na ba daw yung huling bahay sa Purok? Sabi ko, oh, wala nang bahay doon kasi boundary na sa ibang bayan. Tapos bumaba sila, may dala itong mga form. Sabi, pwede magpa-pirma. Paano naman nag-pirma yan, sir? Para daw to sa pagbago sa mga batas kuno. May batas kuno babaguhin. Yeah. Sabi ko kasi, tumingin naman ako sa mga Facebook. Makita ko kasi yung yung matapos ko mabigyan. Sabi ko, baka matapos ito pirma, may ayuda. Sa hindi, iba to sa amin. Yan ang sabi nila. Tapos, hiningi ko yung form na pwede basahin. Sabi ko, pwede basahin, sir. Tapos binigyan ako ng form. yung nabasa ko lang dito, yung sa about sa petisyon. Biniro ko lang na tanong nga, baka anong petisyon to? Marcos ba to? Duterte? So, tumawa lang sila. tumawa lang sila, sir. Yan, ang sabi nila, sige na sir, pirma ka na. Sabi ko, talagang pirma na sir, kahit baka kung ano sa Bisaya pa, baka maipit niya ni sir. Sabi ko sa kanila. Tapos, nabanggit din sila na about sa chat-chat, sa ba yun? Na yung sa submit kanila. Sabi ko, kung gusto nyo ng maraming pirma sir, doon lang tayo sa barangay. Maraming tao doon nandun yung kapitan. So wag na, hindi na kailangan doon. Tapos, tinanong ko na, taga saan kayo sir? Hindi sila nasalita, ayaw lang sagutin. Pag magtanong sila, tatanungin mo naman sila para na ano sila ba? Na parang hindi sila kasi may narinig. Sa kanila kasi, nag-usap yung gabi na
Malinaw.
sa kanila briefing, kapag yung tao na magpirma, kapag marami kong tanong, iwan na. Sa kanila. Kaya naisip ko gabi, kaya pala, doon sa amin, marami kasi akong tanong, kaya hindi na nagtagal, umalis na. Wala na, hindi ako pumirma.
Very good. Salamat sa yung mga sagot. At Madam Chair, may I move that we subpoena yung dalawang tao na sinabi kanina at nag-briefing sa kanila. Ano yung pangalan, ma'am? Sino yung dalawang
Hello
tao?
po, Miss Butterfly.
Adonis
Malinaw po
Ragasi
ba yung
ang
deadline?
Adonis Ragasi. May alam ka address? Asan address?
Sabi lang niya, taga Cagayan de Oro daw siya.
Cagayan de Oro. And sinong isa?
Si Adonis Bong Gonzales.
Adonis
Taga
Gonzales.
Davao.
Taga Davao. And we subpoena, we have a second hearing to be held in Davao. So, walang rason ito kung taga-Davao, ito taga-Cagayan.
Malinaw po, malinaw yung live.
We will ask the assistance of the Philippine National Police para malupit ito ng tao na ito at mabigyan sa pina. Salamat.
Yes,
Ay, yung nakuha daw ni Ragasa yung number ni Kagawad. So, Kagawad, nagtawagan niya kahapon.
Honorable Sir, tawag sa sako kay ipaundar naman ko ni Kapitan. So ko si Kapitan, ingnan ako siya nga ako kamulala yung istorya ni Kapitan kay Sabado, mga 2 p.m. sa hapon, na bulabog naman na nagkaroon ng mga isyo.
So, pwede bang ibigay mo sa komite yung number ni Regasi? Para ipalukit namin kung saan siya ngayon at papuntahan namin. Ibigay namin, ha?
Na naman si Rodia.
Okay, sige. Salamat.
okay.
And Mary Jane Divino, hindi ka magsalita. Indulgence of Senator Risa will give you
Yung mga nandito po, taga Bukidnon.
In the meantime, idadagdag ko rin, in
Yes.
addition to Ragasi and Gonzales, perhaps there are other representatives of the NGO. They said they represented Change Philippines. Kumbidahin din natin yung mga leader ng Change Philippines.
Yes, so Madam Chair, I'm about to move for these people to be issued subpoena also. The people behind Change Philippines.
Pakicomment naman po, pakicomment kung malinaw pa.
Their THRU building, Rizal State, Cagayan de Oro City. Makakapit bahay pa ito ni SP. May telephone number din. Yes, Mary Jane Divino. Madam Chair, can we continue with Mary Jane
Yes,
Divino?
please proceed, please proceed.
Please continue.
Yes po, ako po si Mary Jane Divino. Ako po yung naka-perma doon sa form po. So,
Salamat.
ang nahitabo, siya,
Sige, sige.
ang nahitabo, buntag to sa yun, agira sila sa balay. Tapos,
Sinong sila?
kung 5 katao,
5 katao. Ilan lang
Oros,
yan?
wala ko kaila. Oros lalaki,
Puro lalaki.
nakamotor, tapos mga tag-asog barog. So, pag agi nila, nandito sila pangutanan na ako nga, pwede ba ako ma-interview? O survey lang daw.
Survey lang daw. Okay.
Tapos na sila ipapirmahan sa ako.
So, na papirmahan sa atin.
Dayon, ilang ipangutana ako, pila may kabuok sa balay, pila ang botante. Dayon,
Tinanong nila kung ilan kami sa bahay, ilan ang botante.
dayon, pag humana to, ni, papirma na dayon siya.
Anong pinapirma niya?
Yung form na may yung People's Initiative.
O pinapirma ka ng People's Initiative na form.
Opo.
Pumirma ka.
Yun nga po, nakapirma po ako doon na wala pong tanong kasi po nangyari, bago po yun dumating sila, kuya po kasi talaga ako doon ng 2 araw kasi kagagaling ko lang po ng living. Tapos po nung dumaan sila, sabi nila for interview lang. Hindi na po ako nagtanong-tanong. Tapos pagkatapos ko pong pumirma,
Thank you po.
nabasa ko po yung tinanong ko kung anong ibig sabihin. Ang sabi nila, balao daw, ang ako nung ipirmahan, balao daw, napamatod na, dili daw makakanday yung balaod ang babaw, kung dili magikan, dili sa among mga botante.
Okay, so walang promise sa inyo na bibigyan ka ng ano-ano?
Wala.
So nailan ka lang, diretso,
Yes.
pirma ka. Parang misrepresentation. Sinabi sa'yo, survey lang ito. Survey, tapos pumirma na agad.
Yes po yun.
Walang pera.
Wala po.
Thank you, thank you. Salamat. Madam Chair,
Yes, Senator Risa?
Yaman na, Madam Chair. Sa ating mga resource persons mula sa Bukidnon, interesante yung pangalan ng isang Adonis. Dalawang Adonis, sa isang kaso lang. Yung Adonis Ragasi, siya po ba yung tumakbong mayoral candidate ng Cagayan de Oro noong 2022 laban kay dating PhilDec Administrator Pompey Lavinia? Siya po kaya ito, yung tumakbong CDO Mayor, itong Adonis Ragasi, sir?
Hindi kabalo, anak. Sir Man, hindi na magkilala.
Okay lang po. Salamat kaayo. Baka, Madam Chair, pwede na lang natin pa-confirm sa COMELEC. Kasi hindi naman ordinary pangalan mo Adonis and yun nga po, may public and media records na tumakbo siyang mayoral candidate sa CDO.
Actually, Madam Chair, we have videos of the incidents na Carlos. So, tumutugma yung video doon sa nakikita namin sa social media pages. So, if it's one and the same person, then he should be the one who's invited. Ibitayin natin siya.
Salamat kaayo, SP. Yaman Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Senator Bato, are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
doing interpolation or further question?
si Jocelyn po ay nakapagpirma ng kabarangay nila mga 150. Totoo ba itong 150 na papirma niya?
Sa dalawa lang dito sa kasama ko, sir. Dalawa kami.
Roger
Around
Evans,
150
hello.
na napapirma nila.
Opo.
Sige, thank you. Yun lang, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat, ha? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Bato.
Dagan salamat, Mama Jocelyn. Dagan salamat sa akong mga igsunan sa Bukidnon. Ipakita ninyo inyong isog na wala mo mahadlok para sa demokrasya sa atong nasyon. Pakita po sila ng tapang para sa demokrasya ng ating bansa. So maraming salamat. Ako mga silingan. Thank you po.
Dagang salamat. May nahanap yung ating staff sa pangalan at retrato ni Adonis Ragasi. Baka makilala nung testigo natin. Yung ba yun? Yung nariyan? Pakita na lang yung picture, please.
Yes.
Siya daw confirmed. So, SP, yan ang kinakailangan sabihin po natin sa lalong madaling panahon. O at least imbitahin man lang. Maraming salamat sa ating mga testigo na matatapang at hindi nagpubli, hindi nagbelo, hindi nagtago at talagang personal na dumating dito sa Senado. Ngayon, balikan natin yung inaabangan ng lahat ang mga testigo mula sa resource person na testigo mula sa firma at si Noel Oñate, Attorney Abisado, Attorney Gana. At narito si Senator Risa ang unang nagpaiwatig. Alam ko kanina pa, hindi pa nag-umpisa, si Senator Cheese Escudero nagsabi na magtatanong siya. Senator Risa, please take your turn.
Yaman Madam Chair. Actually, just one question at this point in time sa mga resource persons natin taga-pirma. Kaya niyo po bang i-confirm kung in-engage ng pirma yung services ni Attorney Anthony A. Abad, Madam Chair?
Yes, yes. He is one of our volunteers. He's a lawyer. Yeah, but first of all, I'd like to thank this August body for inviting us here. This is my first time. And second of all, I'd like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to air our views, our arguments, our
Malinaw
thoughts
po yung
about
audio
climate
natin.
change. Yeah, si Anthony Abad po ay kasama sa professional sector ng firma. Ang firma po ay maraming components. Merong farmer sector, professional sector, the youth sector, fisherman sector, kaya marami pong mga volunteers. Si Anthony A. Abad ay isa sa mga volunteers sa aming professional sector. He is a lawyer.
Yes, sir. At siya po ba yung Attorney Anthony A. Abad na ang pangalan ay nandun sa mga forms na ikinala para pirmahan ng mga kababayan natin?
Yes, Madam Senator, that is correct.
And sir, narinig niyo nga po on the motion of Senator Roy de la Rosa and ruled favorably on by the chair, inimbita si Attorney Abad pero wala sila rito ngayon.
Maayos
So,
yung
sasabihin
audio.
na sila. Pero may input din po si SP, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, Madam Chair, na wala na sa Pilipinas si Attorney Abad, nasa ibang bansa na. Can you confirm his whereabouts?
He's out of the country, yes.
He's out of the country. But perhaps, Madam Chair, Mr. Onyate or Attorney Abisado is raising his hand to be acknowledged by the chair. Can the resource persons from Burma venture a thought if the attorney will honor the committee's subpoena in the next hearing, Madam Chair?
Madam Chair, if I may, ganito po
Madam Chair,
nangyari.
Attorney Abisado.
Attorney Abisado po.
Abisado, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ganito po yan. Last year when we were consulted by Mr. Noel Onyate regarding his plan to push for People's Initiative, nabanggit ko po yan at na-discuss ko kay Attorney Alfredo Garbin. He being also a client of our firm. And he told me tutulong siya at may grupo daw siya. Later on, we found out that kasama po sa grupo si Attorney Anthony Abad. So maybe Attorney Garbin now can confirm.
Madam Chair, Attorney, former representative, if I'm not mistaken, Garbin.
I confirm the statement made by Attorney Abisado that Attorney Abad was one of those who started the push for People's Initiative. Kasama po ako.
So, and Attorney Abad, Attorney Garbin, and the other resource persons from firma, sila po ay kinontrata professionally to be the name on the list of the form, or to be the name on the forms distributed to collect signatures.
Wala akong kontrata. These are all voluntary. Since this is a national movement that composed of so many sectors of our society, including NGOs and POs, ito voluntary. Wala akong kontrata.
So, Attorney Garbin, could you confirm to the committee that Attorney Abad will be present in the next hearing?
The moment he arrives from our country, I think he's very much willing to face this committee.
Thank you, Attorney Garbin. Madam Chair, we have the assurance of Attorney Garbin and I believe the other resource persons from PIRMA that Attorney Abad will be present in this committee's next hearing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you very much. Is there anyone? Yes, Minority Leader.
Can we now fix the identity of Attorney Anthony A. Abad? Can we show the picture to Mr. Onyate, Attorney Abisado, if we're really talking about the same person, Attorney Garbin? Attorney Abad of the Harvard Association yata. Siya yung sinususpensahan natin Attorney Anthony Abad. So we want a confirmation if he... Sabihin nga mo na screen, yes, okay. Can you put on screen? Para lang, tapos na, alam na natin, we now know who we are talking about.
Alam ba ninyo kung kailan ang balik? Any idea po, Attorney Garvey?
I was not apprised of his return in the country, but I was told that he's really out of the country.
Yan na po. Yan na po, sir.
Are we talking about the same?
Yes, yes, sure.
Ito naman yan, is dating Yusek PTI. Oo, sige. At least nagkakaliwanag ang
Okay, now you know the identity. And I'd just like to make of record my position, my interpretation, Madam Chair, that per the signatories, it is a really real signatures and a real people's initiative. Only Attorney Anthony A. Abad can file the petition on their behalf. Siya lang. Siya.
That is not true, Your Honor, because
That's my position. I want
that is your position from the very start. We were all together campaigning nationwide for this noble intention to amend the Constitution.
because there
So,
was
in fact,
the
I was the one who
Well,
spearheaded.
Madam Chair, can we make order of this hearing?
Yes,
Can we-
Attorney Garvey,
Yeah.
you,
Let me
please
finish.
allow the minority leader
I'm sorry,
the
I'm
floor to complete his statement.
I'm chewing some Cheding's peanuts. But I'll stop. Okay, the people, this is a real people's initiative, made an effort to identify who can file the petition for them. They said Attorney Anthony A. Abad, et al. So the people identified one person. The et al, they made a mistake. Because they need to identify who can file the petition for them. Hence, the correct step was naming one person, and this is that person. So, only Attorney Anthony A. Abad can file that petition on behalf of the people. Should COMELEC ever, pero iba na po, may ruling naman ng COMELEC that the present law and the present resolution is insufficient to entertain a petition. But should we come to that stage, only this person can file that petition. That's my position, Madam Chair. So, opinion lang naman po yan.
Yes, thank you very much, Minority Leader. Hindi po yung et al, kundi yung mismong pangalan ng Attorney Abad ang sinasabi po ninyo. Yes, Attorney Garvin, you had something to add.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As to the Madam Chair, as to the position of the respected senator, I beg to differ, Madam Chair. Normally, the movement is composed of several sectors of our society. A national movement wherein not only Pirma, not only Attorney Abad, as mentioned by Congressman Marcoleta kanina, paano niya tatrabahuhin ni Attorney Abad yung pag-disseminate at pag-distribute ng lahat ng forms to be signed by all registered voters kung nag-iisa lang siya. And therefore, ilagay na lang namin doon, when we start this movement, we start with Attorney Abad et al. At kasama ko si Noel Onyate doon, kasama ko si Justice Geloso, former member, at kasama rin ho si Congressman Arjel Cabatwa.
Yeah, no, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat. Yes,
Malinaw pa rin bro, malinaw.
May ask from Attorney Garvin, is he confirming that since hindi kaya ni Attorney Abad na umikot sa buong Pilipinas, that is why he solicited the services of the Chief of Staff, the staff of the different congressmen all over the Philippines?
I cannot affirm your statement, Senator Bato, but when we enter each legislative district, there is some sort of tolerance from the members of Congress. I'm not saying that they did not directly participate
Senator
in.
Bato, kung papayagan ninyo, nalilito ako magpa-follow up lang ako kay Senator Coco. Ang nakasulat lang, Attorney Abad. Wala namang nakasulat doon, pirma. Wala namang nakasulat doon. Ang sinabi lang, et al. Malay namin kung sino si et al.
And that's why po from the very
Malay namin ng
start,
tao kung sino si et al. Papapirmahin ninyo, sino si et al.
from the very start po, in fact, there's so many publications of which I was quoted that I am one of the petitioners in this People's Initiative. In fact, in Albay, when I was invited by the Mayor's League or the Liga ng mga Municipality of Albay, I confirmed there that not only did I advocate this movement, but I am also one of the petitioners in this People's Initiative. And that was all documented. Madam Chair.
Okay, be that as it may, yes. Yes, I think Senator Chief will make the same comment we all are, yes, Senator Chief.
On the topic, Madam Chair, with the permission of Senator Mindel. Since we're on this resource person, Mr. Oñate, when did you meet Congressman Garvin? When did you meet Congressman Garvin?
I met Congressman Garbin about a month ago.
A month ago.
Yes.
So prior to a month ago, you never thought of PI? Because he was the one spearheading it, according to him.
No, we launched PIRMA in 1996.
No, this particular initiative.
We've been talking about it in some parties,
Okay.
some gatherings.
Well, it's okay to talk about it, but in terms of initiative, you only met Congressman Garvin a month ago. You said.
Yeah, about a month ago, yes.
So I guess it was only a month ago that you also discussed this current initiative, because he's, based on his comments earlier, he's very active in this. So did he simply join you afterwards? You were already starting it, or a month ago after you met, that's when you
We
agreed?
started it January 2.
You started it January 2.
January 2.
So prior to meeting Congressman Garvin a month ago, you were not doing anything yet?
We were, but it was talking about it, and I
Opo,
said that I
opo.
told them about my experience. That
So-
I launched it before and all that.
Sino po ang naghingi ng meeting nung nag-meet kayo? Siya po nanghingi ng meeting o kayo po nanghingi ng meeting?
No, this was several parties, several dinners, and
So you met
and
socially?
And I volunteered the information that I know something about People's Initiative because we tried it before.
And you volunteered that information because he said he was interested in pursuing it?
And then I said, we can try it again because it's been my advocacy for the past 28 years, and why not?
When was
We
this
can-
party?
We can do it again.
When was this party, sir, and where was the place that you met and discussed that? And then we finally,
This was several parties, several
saan po?
iba-ibang lugar eh. Iba-ibang lugar.
Kasama po ba sa lugar na yon ang kongreso o ang bahay ng speaker?
Hindi naman. Pero I know a
Hindi
lot
po.
of people in the political circles, in the social circles, business circles.
Hindi po yun ang
Yes,
tinatanong ko.
Senator Chief, if you will allow, in the news articles of Philstar, Mr. Oñate admitted that the conveners of the People's Initiative coordinated with Congressman. Anong ibig sabihin ng coordinate? Sino ba ang pasimuno o kayo?
Yeah.
I'm a little
what
bit
we know-
confused. You're now saying January 2, but earlier you said it was Attorney Garvin who called you. Sino ba tumawag kanino?
Ako po ang nakipag-coordinate sa mga congressmen because according to the law, we are supposed to get 3% per congressional district.
Yes, we're
So
more
dahil
interested.
3% per congressional district, yung distrito na yun, ang congressman ang leader dun sa
So
Congress.
who are these congressmen? Senator Cheese and I would like to know who are the congressmen that your group coordinated with? Tinawagan ninyo o sila tumawag?
Ako ang nakipag-coordinate.
Madam
Senator
Chair.
Cheese.
Madam Chair, so under oath, you admit that you coordinated this PIRMA initiative with congressmen since the 3% is required to be obtained per district.
Yeah, per district. Yeah. That is
So,
Sino?
tamang-
Hindi mo naman kami ng pangalan. Ay, sorry, Chief. Go ahead.
So tamang strategy naman yun. Nasa ngayon naman ako. kung ako yung nasa kalagayan ninyo, per district nga naman, co-coordinate ko talaga sa congressman po yan dahil para makuha yung 3%. Let me digress a bit, Madam Chair. Because kababayan ko tong si attorney, last I referred to him as Congressman Garvin because he used to be a party list representative of the party list of Bicol, which happens to be the same party list of the distinguished appropriations chairman of the House of Representatives. And in your various Facebook posts, I see you often in the House, Congressman Garvin. I presume you are a consultant of Congressman Chairman Apro Chair Zaldico?
I serve as the executive director of Ako Bicol Party List.
And
So I work with Ako Bicol until now.
but I see your pictures in most of the meetings in the House, Congressman Garvin, with the Speaker, not only as Ako Bicol Chairman. Which I
That is true. That is
Pinafollow
of,
kasi kita sa Facebook.
that is of public knowledge. That you can browse my Facebook talagang puno ng pictures ng house dahil nagtatrabaho po ako sa Ako Bicol Party List. Which happens to be ang isang representante ay chairman ng Committee on Appropriation.
Just to settle that fact, Madam Chair. Now, proceeding with the question of the chairperson. Mr. Oñate, you said you contacted congressmen to get the 3% per district. Sabi ko kung ako din yung nasa kalagayan yung sinusulong to, kontakin ko rin yung congressman dahil per district ang usapan, di naman per barangay eh. Di ba? Per district ang usapan, di naman per munisipyo eh. So, papunta dun sa tanong ni Senator Amy, Chairman Amy, sino po yung mga congressman na kinontak po ninyo na umawa po sa inyo, natutulungan kayo na makuha yung 3%?
Kaya naman namin naisip na lumapit sa mga congressmen. Yes.
Yung mga pangalan na lang po, please. Marami po pa tayong testigo, nandito na si Justice Carpio, at
si Congressman Garvin, kinausap ko.
Sino ba po? Sino ba po?
Sina Congressman Saldico kasama at si Speaker Romualdez.
Salvi ko, no, I didn't talk to Salvi. Salvi ko.
Ganun po ba? Sigurado po kayo? Kasi marami-rami ang meeting ninyo, mga party, dinner, sabi nga ninyo, ilang beses kayo. Sigurado kayo wala si Speaker, wala si Congressman Saldico sa anumang pagtitipon?
Madam Chair, in all the meetings that transpired, none of the presence of Congressman Saldico and Speaker Maltes was there. They were not there. Ako naman, nilapitan ni Mr. Oñate because he knew for a fact that in the 18th Congress, I was the chair of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments who defended the resolution of both houses number 2 that, pass the restrictive economic provisions of the
With
Constitution.
respect to Congressman Garvin, we will just recognize the chairperson who's there flashing a very important picture on the screen.
I received this photo, and I believe it was one of the meetings that you alleged, Mr. Oñate. Can you identify the people in the photograph? Yeah, we're trying to enlarge the picture to share it with everyone in the room. There we go. I think that's as big as we can get it. People's Initiative on Charter Change, staff meeting, January 8th. Can you tell us who are in the picture, Mr. Oñate?
Madam Senator.
The question is who, sir?
You said you never had any
Time that
meeting.
I coordinated with the speaker.
You said you never met the speaker, nor Mr. Saldico, our congressman. You're under oath, sir.
Yes, that was the time that I met with the
Sasabi mo
speaker.
lang na hindi naman kayo nagkita, sabi niyo sila Congressman Darwin lang.
Yeah, but, it slipped my mind, it slipped my mind.
Okay lang. Nakalimutan ninyo bigla.
I thought the
Is
help of the
Speaker Martin
speaker
Romualdez supporting your
to
group?
help
Is
us
it-
in the signature campaign, yes.
Okay, so it's very clear that Speaker Martin Romualdez is supporting your group. He is all out behind the People's Initiative. Is that correct?
Yes, we coordinate with the speaker and the
Thank you very
congressman
much,
and
and
get the 3% fair congressional district. That's correct, Madam Senator.
Thank you very much for helping us along with this investigation. I'd like to turn it back to Senator Cheese.
I'll wind up, Madam Chair. That was the point I wanted to establish, Madam Chair, distinguished colleagues, na maliban dun sa mga kongresistang binanggit nyo, baka na, kung si Speaker Romualdez nakalimutan yung banggitin, siguro mas marami pa kayong ibang nakalimutan banggitin. So, sa pagkakaalala nyo, kaysa magpakita po kami ng ibang litrato, sino pa pong mga kongresista ang nakausap nyo para makakuha ng pirma sa kada distrito?
As I said
With the
earlier,
permission, Madam Chair, with the permission of Congressman Turbin, the question is being addressed to Mr. Oñate. Since he is the lead convener here, merely ask for the help of Congressman.
he's not the lead convener, Madam Chair, for the record.
You
We,
said so.
You
I'm
said so.
confused.
for per pirma, but there's a different
So
movement.
Pirma is no longer the lead convener.
No. Pirma is just one of the of the movement
Pwede
that
ba
goes around.
magkasundo kayo? Kasi iba-iba yung sinasabi ninyo, nalilito po kami eh.
Just to be clear, Madam Chair, Pirma is just one of the movement that goes around the country to gather signatures for this people's initiative. In the Bicol region, I may say that I'm the one leading and collecting signatures,
Okay.
making it for the Bicolanos understand what they signed for.
Salamat po. Ibalik natin kay Mr. Oñate po.
Yes, if I may go back to Mr. Oñate, because Congressman Turbin, kasama ka lang sa FAL. Ang nakasulat sa petitioner, si Atty. Abad, na inamin ni Mr. Oñate na isa daw sa mga conveners nila ng pirma. Di po ba? So, is Atty. Abad part of Ako Bicol or the new organization you put up, or is he part of pirma?
Not part of Ako Bicol, not part of Pirma, but when he started independently as an advocate of this people's initiative.
Kaangkin lang po ni Mr. Oñate na bahagi si Atty. Abad ng pirma.
Yes.
Sinabi niyo po kanina, hanggang ngayon po sinasabi niyo.
He's part
So-
of Pirma.
So,
The only thing is, I think the lawyers forgot, is because the first batch of the forms that were printed, the name of Atty. Abad was used. But the subsequent forms are now Pirma.
okay,
Because the first batch was Anthony Abad.
okay, ngayon, matanong ko po kayo. So kayo yung nagpa-print ng form na Atty. Abad? Yes or no?
Yeah, well, I did.
Yes or no?
I didn't have a hand in the printing of the form.
No?
So no. Okay.
Kayo po ba yung nagpa-print ng form na may pirma na nakalagay? Wala nang Atty. Abad?
Yes.
Kayo po nagpa-print?
Yeah, the subsequent
Yes.
forms that were printed, firma na.
Pirma na po.
Oo.
Ilan po yung...
lang yung mga naunang form of Anthony Abad.
Sino po yung nagpa-print nun? E-convener niyo po si Atty. Abad?
Mga volunteers po.
Mga volunteers
Mga
po.
volunteers ang nagpa-print.
Eh yung pirma mismo na nakalagay, kayo na nagpa-print.
Yung number.
Magkano po ginastos niyo sa pagpapaprint ng form na may pirma?
I don't have the exact figures right now. Let me consult with.
Please ask him. Yeah, I'm sure they should know. You knew this was going to be discussed.
Well, what I know is that the figure that I know, I don't know the figure regarding the printing of the forms. But the figure that I know is the airing of the advertisement. That's the figure that I know.
Pupunta po tayo doon. Dumuna tayo sa, mas mahal po yun eh.
The advertisement cost 55 billion. ABS-CBN,
Madam Chair.
and GMA 7.
Yes, if
But
Senator Cheese will allow, sorry,
I don't have the figures.
so although you printed the forms with the firma at the bottom, you have no clue how much it costs.
No.
This is
I-
remarkable.
Because it's the staff that knows, because I don't know
Okay.
I don't know everything.
With the permission of Senator Cheese, there's a quick manifestation from Senator Bato.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Runyate, I just would like to remind you na sana remind lang kita, baka sunod-sunod yung pagsisinungaling mo ba? Ha? Una, alam mo, under oath ka. Tapos sinabi mo kanina, you never had a meeting with the speaker, kung sino-sino bang nasa likuran nito. Ngayon, when we show you the picture, makinig ka muna. When we show you the picture, sabi mo, it slips your mind. I'm just giving you a fair warning. Ha? Fair warning. Please, do not lie before this committee. Please, do not lie before this committee. Ha? Magpakatotoo tayo dito.
No, because I was asking my lawyers, sino yung pwede kong banggitin, ang sinabi nila, si Rufus Rodriguez and Congressman Apil.
Kaya, sabi mo kanina, tinanong ka ng chairman,
Speaker Mualdez, I did say.
hindi kasama sa meeting, pero picture.
In fact, if you check my interviews with the various radio stations, I mentioned to them that I went to Speaker Mualdez to seek his assistance regarding people's initiative.
Madam
So
Chair.
thank you for the
I
clarification.
repeated the various interviews.
Madam Chair, I saw your interviews actually, Mr. Onyate. And you were very vocal and honest about the fact that you sought the Speaker's assistance. Now, may I ask, what kind of assistance did he give you?
Administrative and advisory.
Walang-
Because being the speaker, he is like the CEO
Of the House?
of Congress. Yes.
So ano po yung administrative na tulong na binigay niya sa'yo para makalap yung 3% per
Yung
district?
mga tao namin, pupunta sa isang distrito, makikipag-coordinate sila sa congressman because it's the congressman who is in turn the CEO of the district. Kasi distrito niya yun eh. So, nagkula
Kaya
lang
sinasabi ninyo, sa
puntahan
mga
namin yung
nagsabi,
congressman.
so hindi talaga kaya ng firma isa-isahin ang mga distrito. Ang nakatutok, si Speaker, inuutusan yung mga congressman. Tama?
Hindi naman po. Kami po ang pupunta sa mga...
Pagsasabihan ko lang si Atty.
Sa
Abisado na
kanila.
huwag mag-coach please. Anong sabi po ninyo? Hindi ninyo kaya, di ba, sa firma? Kasi napakaraming distrito. So nagpatulong kayo at sila yung nakatutok.
There are 250 districts, 250.
So inaamin ninyo na ang nakatutok, yung kongresista at si Speaker. Tama po ba? Kasi kailangan ninyo
Tinutulungan kami ng kongresista dahil distrito po niya yung
Madam Chair.
Anong uri ng
congressional
tulong?
district.
Can I be recognized, Madam Chair?
No, let us finish, please. Yes, it's our hearing. Thank you. Back to Mr. Onyate po. Anong tulong ang binibigay ng mga kongresista at speaker?
Ang tulong nila, kung ano yung population ng distrito nila, kung saan
Makukuha naman yun
kukuha
online.
kung saan kukuha ng mga boto, tinuturo nila, yun. Basically, administrative ang tulong nila.
Hindi niyo naman kilala yung mahigit 250 kongresista. So kailangan talaga na makapagbigay ng administrative na tulong ang speaker na masabihan yung mga congressman na pag nagpunta yung tao niyo doon o kayo, asikasuhin.
Opo. Inamin ko naman po sa mga radio stations at sa mga interview sa TV and all that. In fact, there are days that I'm being interviewed 3 times, 4 times a day. Grabe kung makatawag ang...
I've seen most of the interviews, sir. I've seen most of the interviews.
10 beses, no? Walang tigil. Nag-coordinate ako kay speaker, natulungan naman kami sa kami pag-confirma sa mga distrito.
Kasama po ba sa administrative?
Sumusunod lang po kami sa batas, nasabi po ng batas, napunta kami sa congressional district at kumuha ng 3% per congressional district.
Kasama po ba sa tulong yung pagsang-ayon doon sa timetable na nakita at pinalabas na rin sa media na may timetable na sa gantong petsa dapat na-submit na, sa gantong petsa dapat na-file nyo na, sa gantong petsa dapat i-verify, sa gantong petsa dapat plebisito na. Ang sinasabi ng ilang mambabatas ay June, July daw dapat ang target. Tama po ba yan? Kasama yung sa napag-usapan at napagkasulat.
Pero hindi naman absolute yung target na yun. Ako nga po, sinasabi ko kung hindi kaya ng June, July, baka September, October.
Ang tanong ko po,
Hindi ko rin alam eksakto kung kailan matatapos. Pero, a few months. Kaya sinabi ko din na, kasi yan din ang tanong ng mga nag-i-interview. Sabi ko, mga 2 to 3 months, because I don't have the exact timetable also.
so yung pag-set po ng timetable na yon kasama o factored in na yung administrative na assistance ni speaker at ng ilang mga mambabatas para may talaga yung dates na mamit, hanggat kaya.
Yeah, more or less, we have a timetable, but the timetable is not on exact dates.
And this timetable was agreed
2 to 3
upon,
months, 2 to 3 weeks.
and this timetable was agreed upon or at least discussed in that meeting. This timetable was agreed upon or at least discussed in this meeting when you asked for his assistance.
Wala namang timetable na eksakto, parang
Period, may range.
estimate lang, estimate.
Opo, yung estimate na timetable na pag-usapan at napag-agrihan sa pulong na ito. O isa na ito sa mga pulong na napag-usapan nyo.
Yes, more or less po.
Maliban sa administrative na tulong, ano pa po ang binigay na tulong ng tanggapan ng speaker?
Wala na po.
Dalawa po yung binanggit nyo kanina, may I feel to the record. An advisory. Ano pong advisory ang binigay sa inyo?
Na-advise kami kung saan maraming mga tao na pipirma, kung saan. Basically, ang tinuturo nila yung C and D sector ng mga voters.
Bakit daw po?
They tell us to concentrate on the C and D kasi sila ang makakarami. We were told that 75 to 80% of our voters belong to the C and D market. So doon kami pupunta.
Sino po nagsabi sa inyo?
Yung mga congressmen.
Maliban
Kung saan madaming mga botante.
kung saan madami para mas madaling puntahan.
Parang kunyari, let's say you're going to a supermarket and then you want to buy something.
Hello, ako ni...
Of course, you cannot ask the supervisor of the supermarket where I can buy this stuff. Ganun din po ang ginawa namin. Pagpunta sa distrito, tinatanong namin sa distrito, sa congressman, CEO ng distrito, kung saan kami pupunta at makakuha ng madaming firma.
Last 2 points, Madam Chair, if you will bear with me. So, yung tagumpay ninyo, thus far, na nakakuha na kayo ng mahigit 3% sa mahigit 200 distrito, hindi niyo po magagawa ito ng kayo lamang kung wala ang tulong o administrative support, advice ng mga kongresista.
Malaking tulong po ang nagbibigay ng mga kongresista sa pag-identify kung saan kami kukuha ng mga signatures.
At kung wala nga po yun, nahihirapan tulad ng mga nakaraang karanasan ninyo.
Magagawa naman po, pero medyo matatagalan.
Hindi kasing bilis tulad ngayon. Hindi kasing bilis tulad ngayon. Sabi niyo magagawa naman, pero kung wala ang tulong ng kongresista, hindi kasing bilis tulad ngayon.
Oo, mas mabilis kung may tulong ng kongresista kung pinpointing to us where to get the signatures.
May isang tanong na lamang po, yung 55 million na ginastos nyo para sa EDSA Pueraan, saan po galing yun?
Ako po ang provide nun, binigay ko yung cash kay Mr. Greg Garcia. Yung aming PR, siya yung aming PR. Oo.
Saan po galing yung 55 million?
Pera ko po yun. Contribution sa akin ng mga kaibigan, mga supporters namin.
So mga $1 million po yun, di ba?
More or less po.
So personal, magkano po sa 55 million ang pera ninyong personal?
Mga kalahati po nun.
So mga 36.
More or less.
Sorry, mali.
More or less. 55, mga 27.
Polisay lang po ako, hindi ako math major tulad ni Senator Pimentel. Yung kalahati, saan galing yung bulto? Ano yung pinakamalaking contribution?
Yung bulto nga po, ako po ang nag-pondo nun.
Yung kalahati na nga po.
Yung kalahati, maraming mga contributors.
Mga tingma magkano po?
May mga nagbigay ng 1 million, may nagbigay ng 500,000, may nagbigay ng 2 million.
Pwede niyo po bang banggitin kung sino yung mga nagbigay ng milyon?
I don't recall right now.
Pero pwede ninyong handa naman yung committee tanggapin pag nabigay
Can my lawyer be the one to answer that?
Who is your lawyer, by the way? Is Attorney Abisado who seems to be coaching you here as your counsel or as a resource person?
Madam Chair, I really apologize, please, because Mr. Dual Oñate has difficulty in hearing. That's why I keep on repeating what the good Senator Escudero has been asking. I just really, Your Honor, I do not coach. I'm really sorry.
So may we know the million peso contributors? Yung 1 million and above lang.
I have to ask them if I can give the names.
Sige, dahil ang problema dyan, di ba may donor tax din dyan, Senator Chief?
Yan yung math major, oh.
Nagbayad na sila ng donor tax.
I can compute the amount because that's math. Pero ang tanong legal eh.
No,
There should be, my opinion, Madam Chair, there should be.
kindly inquire, sir, if they consent. And we will also research if we can compel. The reason why perhaps the committee can compel disclosure is because, public interest demands accountability and transparency. Hindi ito isang bagay na kinakahiya. Tulad nga lang sinabi ni Congressman Gavin kanina, noong pa niya paborito, noong pa niya gusto to. Chairman pa lang siya ng Tuas Amendments. In fact, it's the first time that I see, I thought Congressman Gavin was one of your lawyers, but apparently he's one of the conveners. But it's the first time that I saw him. So, this matter of PI, if you really believe in it, is not something that you should be ashamed or embarrassed about. The same is true with your donors. And on the part of the public, on our part, well, accountability and transparency dictate that we should know who are the people behind it. Let me give you some advice, Mr. Oñate, if you really believe in charter change. For me, I may be wrong. The main reason why PIRMA has failed in its past attempts, and probably even this one, is because people don't trust those who are supposedly behind it because they're always hiding behind someone else. So it's an opportunity for your donors as well to come out and be proud of that. I will not fault them for believing in something that I disagree with, for example. In fact, I will respect them for coming out in the open. Kung baga, kung ayaw nilang lumabas, wala silang pinagkaiba doon sa mga nakatestigo kanina nakamasker at nakashades. Hindi naman po siguro gano'n yun. Wala naman silang inaakusan na krimen na ginawa. This is something I believe that they should stand up and be counted for. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Oñate. I hope you will talk to your donors.
The amount of the money came from me. So,
We take note of that.
the bulk of the money came from me.
Madam Chair, for the record, on the responses of the resource persons to Senchi's brief manifestation,
Yes,
salamat.
Senator Chief is done.
Agyaman na, Madam Chair. I think narinig po natin lahat yung mga sagot ng ating mga resource persons mula sa firma, Attorney Garvin Quez and Cheese, punong-puno ng pagkalito at saka disagreement. And I will ask questions on that later, but I wish to note that this confusion, this disagreement is brought about precisely because there's no sufficient enabling law for people's initiative. Only Congress can provide the rules, and as of today, we have not yet, Madam Chair, for the record.
Madam Chair, can I answer? Being one of the petitioner.
I'm sorry, I think we have many resource persons led by Justice Carpio, Justice Ascuna, and the rest who will respond to that query later on. May I proceed with Mr. Rodriguez? Yes, Senator.
Attorney, pwede naman mag-position paper or
Yes,
memorandum sila
we will
determine
welcome
on
your
that issue.
position paper, Attorney Garden.
Madam Chair,
Just on the point of there's no enabling law.
Look, this is not correct.
This is a matter of debate, and we simply have no time at this hearing.
There's a developing consensus over here, Madam Chair, that we can compel our resource person, Mr. Oñate, to divulge the names of his donors.
Correct.
12:30 p.m. pa lang naman, hindi pa naman tayo patapos. He can call his office to get the names. The names must be divulged to this committee this afternoon before we end. Dapat ganun. Kasi tama, narinig namin yung kay Senator Chis, and I hope Mr. Oñate agrees with Senator Chis. Public, ganito public issues. Public issues, wag mahiya yung nag-donate.
Yeah, Mr. Senator, I already disclosed or I already admitted that the bulk of the money came from me.
So you have a partial compliance. We need full compliance.
So, yung mga ibang amount naman, maliliit na.
Di ba po, ako na po magsusuma total doon sa ano. Di ba? Yung 27.5 million ng ating account po. Sige po. So, what do we do with that matter, Madam Chair? I think we should compel the...
I think
we
that's
should
now a
compel the...
motion, and
Yes,
we therefore compel Mr. Renato to produce the said documents at the soonest possible time. Yes, Attorney Abisado, please.
You have to give me time to talk to them kasi ako naman lang mapapahiya sa mga banggitin ko yung mga pangalan nila.
Ang kasasabi lang po ng minority leader before 2 p.m. sana this afternoon, magsesesyon pa kami At saka madali naman yan
Madam Chair,
Naka-record naman yan.
may I be allowed to ask a few questions to Mr. Oñate?
I'm sorry, Congressman, I think our rules don't allow resource persons to Okay lang. Okay. But everyone agrees to suspend in your case.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. Oñate, alam po ninyo yung kahalagahan ng initiative na ito at kakailanganin nyo ng maraming resources dito. Hindi po biro-biro ito, tama po?
Yes, I agree.
Yung pagpapapirma lamang po, Mr. Oñate, kakailanganin nyo hindi ko kulangin ng 8 milyon para ma-address nyo yung threshold ng 12% ng ating total registered voter. Hindi po ba?
The 12% of our total number of voters is about 8 million.
Kung nga po, ngayon, meron po tayo about 257 legislative districts. Ano po ninyo? Kailangan po ninyo masatisfy yung second threshold na 3%. Kaya nakitan kayo, ayaw nyo man siguro, na magpatulong na kayo sa mga representatives na kanyang distrito. Tama po kayo?
Yes, that's correct.
Sapagkat nagiging practical kayo siguro, sapagkat sa inyo lang, siguro kahit na yung et al na ito, ilan po ba kayo? Kahit na siguro 100 kayo, mahihirapan pa rin kayo na pumunta sa iba't ibang dako ng ating kapulungan para magpapirma lang kayo. Lalo na kung ipaliliwanag pa ninyo, sapagkat hindi pipirma ang tao kapag hindi nila ganap na naunawaan kung anong kanilang pinipirma. Yung bahagi ng pagpunta sa kanila, pagpapaliwanag, yun po yung malaking panahon na kakailanganin ninyo. Kaya naisipan ninyong pumunta siguro sa mga miyembro ng House of Representatives. Tama po, Mr. Oñate?
Tama po.
Pero nakalimutan mo kung puntahan, di ba?
Yeah, okay. Kasi hindi.
Ngayon, dahil wala registrate. Ngayon, ganito po, Mr. Oñate, meron po ba kayong nalalaman na batas na pinagbabawal po yung ginawa ninyo na makipag-ugnayan sa mga kongresista?
Wala naman po kasi People's Initiative is enshrined in our Constitution and it is the right of the people to
So wala
make that
po,
initiative. Yun po ang sabi sa akin ng mga lawyer.
so wala pong batas na nagbabawal sa inyo, lalo-lalo na po kung kayo nakapatulong dahil sa paniwala ninyo, ito ay isang bagay na kinakailangan ninyong gawin. So lumapit po kayo sa paniwala ninyo na wala namang batas na nagbabawal nito at hindi po kayo makukulong. Tama po.
Tama po.
Salamat po, Madam Chair.
Thank you for all the leading questions. Maraming salamat sa akin yung assistant. Napakagaling na ang siyado pa kay Mr. Daniel. Gusto ko lang balikan yung aking retrato na nandito sa harap natin. Galing po ito sa cellphone ninyo, January 8. Tama po ba, Mr. Daniel?
Oo, tama.
And that's in fact you in the picture, that's correct? You confirm that this is you in the picture?
Yes.
And you also confirm that it's Speaker Romualdez in the picture?
Yes.
And it is Congressman Saldico in the picture?
Yes, yeah.
Can you read the caption, please? Yung caption sa ilalim po. Meron ko
Yes, that's true.
People's
That's correct.
Initiative.
Oo.
Tama po ba?
Tama po.
At maliban sa pagkain, klaro na may mga dokumento sa table. Meeting po to, hindi lang party. Anong pinag-usapan?
Ang meeting po yan kung paano kami makikipag-coordinate sa mga congressmen.
Grabe kasi leading question.
Saan lugar to? Saan ginanap itong party to? Para lang malaman namin.
Sa ano po yan? Sa townhouse sa Ford. So, Ford Park.
Kanino nga? Kaninong lugar? Ipaliwanag. Wala namang masama magpipili sa bahay ng Miss Kisino.
Ano po yan? Dalawang townhouse.
Hindi, kanino to? Kanino lugar?
Kanino nga?
Bahay mo? Bahay mo po?
It's a meeting
Attorney
place.
Abisado, please.
It's our meeting place.
No, pero sino may-ari?
Sino
may-ari ng bahay?
Si Speaker Romualdez po.
Bahay ni Speaker Romualdez.
Okay.
So, ang naging host at nagkumbida ay si Speaker Romualdez. Tama
Ako
po
po
ba?
ang nagkumbida. Dapat
Paano ka magkukumbida? Hindi mo bahay. Hira naman.
Dapat po yan sa bahay ko.
Talaga naman, no.
Pero hindi ba maliwanag na kung bahay ni Speaker?
Siya raw mag-iimbita, hindi niya naman ba?
Ng staff, doon na lang gawin sa bahay ni Speaker. Dalawang bahay ni Speaker eh. Isa sa
Hindi ba maliwanag? Hindi ba
Ang
maliwanag
hirap
kung
talaga,
bahay
ang
ni
hirap.
Speaker, siya nagpatawag ng meeting, di talagang nakikialam si Speaker sa People's Initiative?
Boom.
Pero sinabi po na doon na lang gawin sa townhouse ni Speaker. But ako po ang nag-initiate.
Ay,
Dapat po sa
ganon.
bahay ko, pero sinabihan ako na doon na lang pumunta.
Sino nagdala ng papeles? Kasi bahay niya. Ikaw nagdala ng papel?
Lawyer po.
Yung mga lawyer.
po talaga.
So, bahagi ka talaga ng Project PI. Yung Project PI na tinetext sa mga kongresista, pati ako nga na-text kasi luma na yung number ko. Bahagi kayo ng Project PI.
Yeah. Kasi I saw
Patay
the
ka.
help of the speaker, inamin ko
Yeah,
naman po.
you've said that before.
Tulungan kami dito sa signature gathering.
Right. Okay, kilala ninyo itong sina Attorney Redentor Tuason?
I don't know.
Suzette Sumalino, Timothy Lagundi. Kilala niyo itong mga to? Okay. Kasi meron kaming mga screenshot dun sa Project PI na galing sa mga congressman. At sabi mo, nakikipag-coordinate ka kay Speaker na CEO at sa mga hawak niyang
Congress, yeah,
congressman.
that's correct, Madam Senator.
Okay. So,
Madam Chair.
Yes po. Yes, Senator Bato, please. Ayan yung mga screenshot. Kasi sabi mo, bahagi ka ng Project PI. Tatanong na ako ba, kilala mo itong mga to? Nandito yung mga pangalan. Hindi pala ninyo pakikilala. Kasi, anong pagkaintindi mo dyan sa message na yan? Pakibasa lang po.
Hindi ko po alam, I don't know all of the details because,
Hindi, lahat ng kongresista pinapasubmit, sa National Secretariat, Attorney Red Tuason. Ayun. Ayan ang hinihingi nila, yung mga kopya, at saka accomplished signature forms. Kasi sabi ninyo, may kinalaman kayo sa second batch ng signature forms, di po ba?
yes.
So, isasubmit dito sa mga taong hindi ninyo kilala, samantalang kayo ang nagpa-imprenta?
Boom.
Senator Bato?
Madam Chair, gusto ko lang ipa-confirm kay Mr. Oñate. Since sinabi niya kanina na he sought the help of the speaker para makakuha ng perma. So, pumayag siya. In fact, bidding kayo, di ba?
Yes.
Pumayag siya. So, meaning, sinabi mo, pirma ang nasa likuran nitong People's Initiative, humingi kayo ng suporta galing kay Speaker Muldes, tinigyan kayo ng tulong, ng suporta para tumakbo yung People's Initiative. Ibig sabihin, si Speaker Romualdez, isa na rin sa nasa likod ng
Pumayag naman po si
Pumayag
Speaker.
siya.
Si Speaker.
Nasa likuran na rin siya.
Natulungan kami kasi siya ang CEO ng Congress.
Kaya nga, gusto ko lang confirm sa'yo na siya rin ay kasama na, nasa likod na rin nagpapatakbo ng PI. Dahil nga, tumulong siya sa inyo, di ba?
Yeah, he is helping us.
Thank you. Thank you,
Ano
Thank you.
Huli ka.
Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat. So, kinukumpirma mo. Parang nadudulan ako. Kinukumpirma na politician's initiative. Tulad ng sinabi ni Senator.
Hindi naman po. Tumutulong lang sila. Pero kami ang nasa forefront ng pagpapapirma. Wala naman, palagay ko, wala namang masama na tumanggap ng tulong sa mga congressmen. Dahil
Senator JB
distrito nila yun eh.
raising his eye. Sige, tama naman. Patulong kayo sa lahat ng tao, lalong-lalo na yung mga CEO ng malalaking kapulungan. Senator JD, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Curious ako, pwede tanongin si Mr. Oñate or mga conveners of BI of all the provisions that can be amended under the Constitution. Bakit napili ng firma amenda yung provision on the manner of voting? Di ba? Kasi pagkakaalam ko na kung meron kayong gustong amendahan sa Constitution, dapat ang tatanungin either political or economic provisions, pero yung voting provisions or manner of voting, nakalagay doon, voting jointly. Bakit po yun? Gusto ko na pong maliwanagan.
As one of the petitioner, Mr. Chair, Senator Harris, we specifically propose amendment to the manner of voting because this is the consistent roadblock that prevents the Republic of the Philippines, the Senate and the House, to propose amendment to the Constitution. When I was the chair of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments, we passed the RBH2. Pinasa namin sa House of Representatives, 19th Congress. We transmitted the RBH2 to the Senate.
Di ba kung People's Initiative, pwede naman diretso sa economic provisions?
Tama po, and that's why let me...
economic na kagad.
Yes po.
Bakit hindi economic ang
You cannot put one subject in a petition. That's Republic Act 6735, of which you cannot put more than one subject in a petition. And that's why to erase that roadblock, which is a consistent roadblock in proposing this amendment to the Constitution, might as well that infirmity or ambiguity in the interpretation on how Congress will vote sitting as Constituent Assembly. Dapat ho ma-clarify. And that's why, ito po yung pinakarason. Kasi kung ilalagay po natin yung Article 12, 14, and 16 of the 1987 Constitution, which speaks of the restrictive economic provisions of the Constitution, that would be violative of Republic Act 6735 that prescribe that there should be no more than one subject in a petition.
Alam rin namin yun, ang ating SP.
Yes, Madam Chair. Let us go back to the subject matter.
Boss SP,
Because,
I just put on record because being the chair of the Committee on Rules, only RBH 6 of the House calling for a constitutional convention was actually transmitted by Congress to the Senate. The RBH 2 has not been transmitted. That's for the record.
Madam Chair, you might forget, the majority leader might forget that in the 18th Congress, June of 2021, and you were still a member of that
Are we going to
Congress.
talk about the other Congresses or even the history of Congress? But Madam Chair, I was about to make mention about the statements made by Mr. Oñate. If this is indeed a people's initiative and not a political initiative, bakit nanggagaling lahat sa politiko? Bakit sila yung nagtatarget sino yung mag-i-initiate? Hindi ho ba klaro na ito ay politician's initiative? Just to point it out, Madam Chair.
Baka naman siguro, Madam Chair, since you recognize me already, baka hadlang ang Senado sa mga agenda ng ibang politiko. Diba? Ganun lang naman yun eh. With due respect, Madam Chair, point of order I see is that let's go back to the germane. What's germane to this topic? Which is the signature buying, manipulation being done,
Thank you
is it
very
being
much.
through people's initiative or politicians' initiative? Let's go back to that. We will have our hearings on this issue of charter change where we can invite our distinguished friends, former congressmen and congressmen to those hearings, together with the justices, together with ex-justices, deans, and constitutionalists to debate on that issue. But at this point in time, let's go back to the main point of this hearing, which is we're trying to look for shenanigans in the part of collecting these signatures.
Maraming salamat. Yes, and thank you very much for SP for establishing order. And indeed, it's a massive feat to conduct a project PI requiring massive funds. And you said that you largely, Mr. Oñate, funded THRU, at least with the EDSA Puera commercial. And you also admitted that it was upwards of 55 million that you spent. Do you have the receipt?
I think so. We have a receipt.
Is it your office or your corporation or firmas and NGO that paid for the ad?
Yeah, because I gave the money in cash to Mr. Greg Garcia, and he was the one that paid the advertising agency.
I'm a little bit confused. I was informed but that in fact payment was made to Gana Atienza Abisado Law Office. Why was it necessary to go through the law office? Did you need an escrow or trust account?
I gave the cash to.
If I may,
Mr.
Madam Chair.
Oñate, can we allow Mr. Oñate to finish his sentence?
I gave the cash to Greg Garcia, who is our PR, and I think Mr. Greg Garcia was the one that paid the ad agency. I don't know whether it was forced to somebody else. But,
Malinaw pa.
So in fact, it was
I just
cash,
gave the money
there
to
was no
Greg
receipt,
Garcia.
there was no BIR, no donor's tax, no documentation, it was cold hard cash, is that correct?
Yeah, it was. I gave it to him in whole cash because, well, that's how politics works. I mean,
I'm sorry, that's how politics operates through cash?
Huli.
Yeah, because I've also been a political consultant all these years, and I know how it works.
55 kilos of cash. Hindi, ang sabi kasi binayaran through the law office. Nagugulan ako because you said you handed over 55 million in cash to Mr. Greg Garcia, isang bulto. Paano pumasok yung
Nabubulol na si
ating
Mr.
mga
Oñate.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes,
to explain our role in the TV ad. What happened was this was very early start of the year, and when Mr. Noel Oñate engaged the firm of Mr. Greg Garcia for the creative agency, Mr. Garcia.
Nagugulan ako. At in the beginning of this year?
Yes po.
Ay, nag-umpisa to December pa eh.
Yes po, on the creative aspect po, last year pa. And then, payment should be made for the TV stations ASAP. But since firma could not comply, marami ko kasing documentary requirements. So what we did, kami na as the law office, since we can comply with all the documentary requirements ng pag-post nitong TV ads, kami na po ang nag-submit. But yung payment po, when we were sent the bill, we gave it to Mr. Oñate and sabi namin, Sir, ito na ho yung billing ng ad agency, kayo na ho bahala magbayad. That's what happened po.
Asan ang resibo? Kanino ginawa yung resibo? Kay Mr. Oñate, sa firma, o sa Abisado Law Office?
Ma'am, wala pa pong OR pero meron ho yatang invoice. May invoice ho kami to the law office kasi kami yung lumalabas na advertiser having complied with all the documentary requirements.
So, ibibigay niyo sa amin yung OR, walang resibo at sekreto sa BIR kasi wala rin donor stocks.
Ma'am, wala pa po kaming OR but we have a billing invoice that we can submit.
Sige, titignan namin. So, ano nangyari dun sa cash? Akala ko, ang nagkaliwaan ay yung cash ni Mr. Oñate dun kay Mr. Garcia. Paano pumasok yung law office? Hindi ko pa rin maintindihan eh.
Kami lang po nag-represent kay Mr. Oñate in the
Bakit kailangan ng
application.
representation? Dala-dalang bultong ka.
That's a separate matter po.
Mas marami pa kaysa sa 55 million?
Di ba, when we told Madam Chair, Mr. Oñate, Sir, ito ho yung bill. Kayo na ho bahala magbayad. And he said, sige, ako nang bahala. And then yung invoice ho, sa amin ho pinadala. And we will comply. We will submit the invoice sent to our office,
Correct,
pero wala pa pong official receipt. And the amount that Mr. Oñate paid, kasama na po lahat yon, both the creative aspect of the ad and the TV placements for the 3 TV stations, TV5, ABS-CBN, and GMA. Yun po.
Pero ikaw ang nagsabi, baka pwede mong sabihin kung sino yung ibang donor. Pagkat ikaw yung nagpa-interview at sinabi nyo, ambag-ambag, tulong-tulong, attorney apisado, di ba sinabi mo yon? Na puro donation sa iba't ibang volunteer.
Yes, ma'am, I remember I told that yun din ho yung representation sa amin ni Mr. Oñate. And that is consistent what he said earlier, that he paid the bulk of the TV ads, sarili niya pong pera. And the others, meron din ho yata ang ambag-ambag.
Abogado ba kayo ng firma o member, lead convener din?
Ma'am, hindi po. We are lawyers of Mr. Oñate. Has been our client many years before. In fact, he is related by affinity to our managing partner, Attorney Aris Gana. Magkamag-anak po sila. So that explains the connection between our firm and Mr. Oñate.
What explains the connection of your firm to Speaker Romualdez? Andito po ang liwa-liwanag ng Congress dito sa posting na ikaw ay isang consultant ng Office of the Speaker. Itong retratong to nasa labas ng Speaker's office.
Ma'am, Madam Chair, hindi po ako consultant. You can check all the records. I'm not a consultant. But I don't deny, I know the Speaker. He is a fraternity brother of the fraternity brother in the Upsilon. And kami po, we go a long way. But ang client po namin dito, hindi po si Speaker, kundi si Mr. Noel Oñate. That picture, hindi ho ako, that was one of those times na sumama ho kami, pumunta lang ho dun sa sa Congress. Kasama ho kasi yung isang associate ho namin na nandito. Pero ma'am,
Pero, so mali si Congressman JJ kasi alam niwanag o consultant to the office of the Speaker.
yes po, with all due respect to the good congressman, hindi po ako consultant ni Speaker and the record should bear me out. What happened?
Di ba naging abogado ka rin ng Timo?
Ni-refer po ako ni Speaker sa mga kamag-anak kay Mayor Alfred Romangas who's been my client, and if you will admit, I am very proud being one of your lawyers, Madam Chair.
Kaya nga alam ko na ang pagkaalam ko, consultant ka eh. Kaya
Hindi po. How I wish I was a consultant. Dagdag rin po yun, pero hindi po ako consultant. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Like to,
On the topic lang,
yes po.
bakit po nahirapan ang pirma for the documentary requirements? In 1990, organization pa po ang pirma eh. So, what's wrong with their documents?
Very good question, Senator Pimentel. Hindi ko kasi updated yung payments. In fact, to be honest, i-updated yung records nila. In fact, ngayon ho kami palang nag-update ng records kasi yung mga stalwarts ng firma, sino Mr. Pedrosa and the other kasama ni Mr. Oñate, wala na po ngayon. So, nag-aayos pa ho kami. And since kailangan ho namin mag-comply, kami na lang ho nag-step in.
So kung ang TV stations ay pinagdududahan o hindi qualified ang papers ng pirma, pagdating na nito sa COMELEC, even yung juridical existence ng pirma, in doubt na rin po kasi even TV stations will not air an ad because of the questionable papers of pirma. So how much more amend the Constitution through pirma? I mean that's just just an opinion na kung ganyan na sa TV ads lang hindi na pasado papeles ng pirma, and then you will say we are the group behind this don't we will file the petitions company.
That is well noted, Mr. Good Senator. In fact, we agree with your sentiments. We respect your sentiments. Kami po sa pirma, for the record, we are against any form of vote buying, bribery, or aid in exchange for signatures because alam mo namin, napakahigpit ho ng COMELEC. They will invalidate all the signatures given a very slight evidence of bribery. So, sayang naman ho ang pinaghinapan ng mga volunteers ho at yung coordinators ng firma. Maingat din ho kami, sir.
When did you start soliciting signatures?
This year po, ang umpisa ho namin, Senator, is the information campaign which was started by that TV.
The signatures. Ito mga form na with signatures. December pa to umiikot na eh.
Yes po, when we discuss, kami sa firma this year po, pero yung grupo ni na Attorney Garvin, wala ho kasi kaming monopoly on People's Initiative. Marami din ho kasing gumalaw. So maybe Attorney Garvin can also speak for his group.
Pirma can tell this committee January.
Public information started with the with the TV ad, and then after that, nag-gather na ho kami. Nauna sina Attorney Garvin.
Pirma muna, pirma. Can you give me a date? When did you start soliciting signatures as pirma? Just a date. January 2, 2024. Si Attorney Garvin would be the Attorney Abad signature sheets. Mga December pa po yan, tama?
No, on our part, because ako, concerned lang po ako sa Bicol region. Nag-start po kami January 5, including the distribution of the forms, the signature sheets.
So yung mga Mindanao, wala na kayo?
Wala na po, Bicol region lang po ako.
Pero
Senator Coco, natanggap ko yung timeline at yung form, December 23.
yes, December to sa Mindanao, ayan ang feedback na sa akin. Pero, so who will be the knowledgeable person to ask sa grupo po ninyo about the national movement?
Yung movement po namin ay maraming convener.
Okay.
But for every region, may assign. Ako po yung assigned
Sa Region 5.
sa Region 5, and I called 4 governors and delegated ng mga barangays to facilitate.
If the committee is interested to know the movement sa Mindanao, who do we ask in your group?
Wala po akong alam.
Sino bang nakataas sa'yo as the regional coordinator of Bicol Region? Sino bang nakataas? Because sino ang...
Kami ho yung nag-uusap. Kami ni na Attorney Abad, kasama si Noel Oñate, Justice Veloso, former congressman, and Argel Kamakbat. Opo.
So lumalabas, Madam Chair, there may actually be 2 signature sheets na umiikot. Ibang wording nun. So kailangan conscious din po tayo ron. And once this is...
Just to add minority leader.
Let me finish, Attorney Gervin. Once this is formally to be presented, dadaan po sa microscope yung mga kagasalita dun sa signature sheets na to kasi magkaiba pala, hindi dalawang grupo. And is it possible that there is also a third group, more than 2 groups?
There are numerous groups for this national movement.
Kanya-kanya sila sa signature campaign?
Tama po.
Okay, so ganun pala. So it's not, talagang i-examinin po lahat ito. Kanya-kanyang approach din sila.
And just to add, minority leader, if I may finish.
Madam Chair, Attorney Gavin wants to...
Yes, that when we treat each signatory, we tell them that petitioner din po sila. Hindi lang po si Atty. Abad, hindi lang po ako. Lahat na nag-gather namin signature, pinapaintindi namin sa kanila that they will be, part of this and be one of the petitioners of the People's Initiative.
Okay, notarized ba yung kada signature sheet?
Hindi po, but...
So paano ba? Saan nakagad sa verified petition?
But as you see the signature sheet,
I'm just reacting, Madam Chair, to the inputs of Attorney Gervin. If all the signatories are to be treated as petitioners, bagsak na required. May we ask the COMELEC, doon po sa 10650 na sinuspend ninyo, ang petition ba to be filed on People's Initiative must be a verified petition?
Yes.
So we go back to the definition of what is a verification. All petitioners. So if the signature sheets and the signatories are treated as petitioners, but these are not under oath, I think the theory already falls flat on its face.
Mrs. Chair, Madam Chair, let me respond. The signatures will be part of the petition.
Madam Chair, follow-up question to Attorney
Yes,
Garvin.
Senator Rita has proceeded.
Yaman na, Madam Chair. Attorney Garvin, sabi nyo, inassign po kayo sa Bicol. Sino po nag-assign sa inyo?
Ang aking sarili po.
Sino po nagpupupas
Ako
kung
po.
sino ang ma-assign
Ako po,
sa
as I have said, I've been the chairman of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments. This has been my advocacy since 18th Congress. Naipasa natin sa House of Representatives, na i-transmit natin dito sa Senado, 18th Congress. And my exasperation, Senator Intuberos, was that it was not acted upon by this body. And therefore, ang nakita ko, ito na yung solusyon. Ako rin, gagalaw na rin ako upang ikayatin yung ating taong bayan na sumama dito sa isang makabuluhang pagbabago
At
sa
kaya
ating
gumagalaw, Attorney Garvin and Madam Chair, ang Senado dahil sa tingin namin may mga tamang paraan at may mga maling paraan. Sa ibang mga rehiyon po, sino nag-assign, kung sino in charge sa bawat rehiyon?
Wala po akong alam kung sino nag-assign sa ibang region.
Sino-
But as you mentioned about tamang pamamaraan, Senator Ontiveros,
No, it's
we
okay po.
even
I don't
put
an answer to that. That was not a question, Madam Chair. So lastly po, inassign nyo ang sarili nyo. Kinukumpas nyo sarili nyo.
well, I have, encouraged some of the governors to help me. The Liga of Municipalities of the Philippines, Albay chapter, spearheaded the movement in Albay. And we were able to get at least 15% of the registered voters in the 3 districts of Albay. So, meaning, doon sa 3 distrito, siguro minimum 15% yung aming nakuha.
At sa ibang rehiyon po, kanyang pag-assign din sa sarili.
Siguro po, yung may
Sino-sino
mga
sa
movement din doon na pinapangunahan ng ibang organisasyon, yun din po yung nangyayari ngayon sa buong bansa.
So, siguro Madam Chair, dun sa bubusisi ng minority leader sa bawat isinuting pirma, ay pwede rin itanong yung ano yung naging role ng regional leader. Lalo na kung nag-self-assign sila, Madam Chair. Reminds me visions of Napoleon taking the crown from the hand of the Pope and crowning himself. So, but we can go into that later, Madam Chair, to verify. Yeah, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator Risa, and I'm in full agreement with the minority. I'm completely perplexed by these texts, which I myself also received since I maintain my old congressional numbers. At ito yung natanggap ko na may alok na pagkaliwa-liwanag, 5 million DSWD, 10 million MAIP sa DOH, at 5 million sa DOLE cash forward tupad. At ang mga pumirma ay napakaliwanag, inanyayahan rin namin mga empleyado, yung INC yan, mga chief of staff yata ng kongresista to, Randy Londres, Attorney Ray Trahe, Kirby Bragais, Ana Jimenez, Annie Rose Mercado. Ang sabi sa akin ng ating committee secretary, hindi daw dumalo, kaya siguro kung maaari, isabina na po natin para magkaliwanagan at nagkaganon. At kung bakit yung mga pera na isa ng tabi at binigay na natin para sa mahihirap, emergency and crisis situations, biglang ipamumudpod sa mga pumipirma. Anong klase yun? Kaya't eto nga, ito yung message na talagang pinalap ng maigi at kailangan alamin natin kung ano ang mga pangyayari yan. So pagdating na lang siguro nila, siyasabi natin itong mga bagay-bagay tungkol sa napakalaking alok ng 20 million sa kada isang kongresista. Okay, andito ang liwanag, name of congressman, ilagay yung district at saka yung partido, nakaka-intriga. At yun siguro. Nandito po yung COMELEC, kanina pa nag-iintay, kung okay lang sa inyo, tuloy na tayo kay Chairman George Garcia at yung iba't iba pa. Narito, ang pagkaalam ko, si Senator Francis Tolentino, ang interesado magtanong, andito ang lahat ng COMELEC commissioners natin, pwera lang kay Commissioner Perolino. Pero lahat kumpleto. Maraming salamat. Yes, I think Senator Francis
Because I thought you wanted to talk about the comment.
we're already beginning with the testimony of COMELEC.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wala po akong tatanungin sa itong mga resource persons. I'll focus sa COMELEC. Yesterday, an ad hoc resolution came out. May this committee be clarified as to the current operative legal framework that we have now?
Madam Chair, Your Honors, magandang hapon po. As far as the COMELEC is concerned, as of this time, our resolution 10650, the one that we are using for purposes of the People's Initiative, is suspended. And therefore, as far as we are concerned, our local COMELEC election officers will not accept anything from anybody submitting any document concerning any signatures. At the same time, lahat po ng aspeto ng proseso ng People's Initiative are likewise suspended as of this time.
To the sufferance of Senator Tolentino, may I simply recognize our legal luminaries. We are honored by the presence of Justice Adolfo S. Ascuna, who may interject at any point. Our good Justice Tony Carpio, the Dean of La Salle, Jose Manuel Chel Diokno. I think Attorney Romy Macalintal is also here. And I invite you to interject and participate in this discussion at any point. Thank you. Yes, Senator.
Can you clarify from the good chairman what is the meaning of this interpretation of suspend? Suspend the effects, you suspend the implementation, suspend the acceptance of signatures. Ano po yung eksakto para maintindihan ng mga kababayan natin?
Suspend all in all, suspend the acceptance, suspend the implementation, suspend the execution, suspend anything in relation to the People's Initiative, because that is the law, that is the rule that we are observing. We honestly believe, Your Honors, Madam Chair, that COMELEC Resolution 10650 in its present form and content is insufficient.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yesterday we also heard from total news reports that you intend to reframe, rehash, correct the existing resolution 10650. Ano po yung gagawin? Baguhin o i-amend, you found loopholes, ano po yung gagawin?
Maraming salamat. Kasama na rin po, Madam Chair, Your Honors, yung enhance. Kasi po, Madam Chair, yung mga pinag-uusapan po kanina pa dito sa committee, katulad po ng mga issue ng paggamit ng pondo, halimbawa. Sa Section 16 po ng Public Resolution 10650, nakalagay po doon, bawal ang paggamit ng public fund for purposes of signature campaign. Pero yung pong provision na yun ng Public Resolution 10650, hanggang doon lang po. Wala pong nakalagay doon sa issue ng, are we going to remove the names? What will happen to the names of these people who perhaps have received something from anybody? Wala po sa rules yun. So ibig sabihin po, pagdating, kung sakali po magkakaroon ng isang formal petition sa Commission on Elections na hanggang ngayon po ay wala pa, magkakaproblema po kami, Madam Chair, Your Honors, yung mga local COMELEC namin will insist just by looking na lang po sa signatures and determining whether they are voters. They may not even accept any objection to each and every signature because it's lacking in our rules. Isa pa lang po yun sa mga instances, Madam Chair, Your Honors, na magiging problema later on kung sakaling we will allow this entire process to proceed.
Maybe not for the chairman, how long will this curative process last? Pero paano yung gagawin to?
We are hoping, Madam Chair, Your Honors, that nobody, or not even a single group, will be pressuring the COMELEC to immediately come up with a guideline. Alam niyo po, Madam Chair, yung pong kaso ng Lambino versus COMELEC, 2006 po yun. The ponente of which was Justice Carpio. It took the COMELEC 14 years to draft COMELEC Resolution 10650. So kung 14 years nga po yung na-draft eh, so sana po kami ipilit na mag-draft ka agad ng guideline.
Kaya po tinatanong to, Mr. Chairman, that we're not discussing here we're not questioning the constitutional authority of the Commission on Election to craft and so forth. But kung babalikan natin Santiago case, operative order is inadequate. Article 6735 is inadequate. Kung babalikan po natin yung Lambino case, Lambino never overruled or modified Santiago case. And yet, the Commission on Elections came out with its own resolution akin to an IRR, which, as far as my reputation is concerned, which provided some curative measures insofar as the inadequacy of previous COMELEC resolutions. Sa tingin niyo po ba, Chairman, mas mainam na gumawa na lang ng batas ang Kongreso to amend Republic Act 6735, which the Supreme Court termed as inadequate, and also in that decision, the Supreme Court stated that COMELEC should be permanently enjoined from entertaining or taking cognizance of any petition or initiative of amendments in the Constitution. Baguhin muna namin yung batas bago kayo gumawa ng COMELEC resolution, o ituloy niyo po yung paggawa ng COMELEC resolution, umiyandahan niyo yung Resolution 10650, circa 2020. Ano po yung the respect that magistrates can jump in? Ano po yung mas mainam na gawin dito? Baguhin mo namin yung Congress should amend 6735 or COMELEC should amend Resolution 10650. At para mas matibay po, para once and for all, kung ano yung pagkukulang na nakita sa Santiago case na hindi naman na-tackle doon sa Lambino case, although meron 10 opiter doon, ano po yung mas mainam sa tingin niyo po, Mr. Chair?
Madam Chair, since ang COMELEC po under the Constitution under Article 9C, Section 2, is just there to enforce and administer election, we will highly respect whatever is the wisdom of Congress in this matter. Although we have our own opinion as regards Republic 6735 po, when it comes to whether it is sufficient or not. Hindi po kasi kami pwede magsalita hanggang ngayon, sapagkat that will be the basis of any future resolution of the Commission in the event that a formal petition will be filed in the COMELEC. Kasama po yun sa sufficiency in form and substance, Madam Chair, Your Honors, and so it's premature at this point for the COMELEC to jump in and make a statement as regards to the sufficiency or insufficiency of Republic Act 6735.
So, Mr. Chairman, wala po kayo rekomendasyon sa committee ito na pabuhin na lang muna para sigurado na tayo kasi may provisions po ako na-encounter sa initiative. There is such a thing as direct initiative and indirect initiative. So hindi pa mas maganda klaruhin na lang ng panibagong batas ito para once and for all, the law will set the appropriate standards on how COMELEC should act, issue the appropriate resolution. Wala na tayong gulo. Kasi akit na naman po ito sa Supreme Court. Sasabihin ng Supreme Court, walang galang na si Justice Ascuna, professor po ito. Akit na naman sa Supreme Court. Sasabihin na naman sa Supreme Court, sinabi ko na sa inyo na ganito ito. Hindi na tayo matatapos dito.
Maganda pong suggestion talaga po kung magkakaroon ng pagbabago sa batas para ma-clarify na ang lahat. It should not be the COMELEC that should be clarifying anything. Our IRR should not be there to correct whatever mistakes, if there are, doon sa batas. Hindi po yun ang role ng implementing rules and regulation. Ang dapat po yung...
What's happening right now, Mr. Chairman, is that the COMELEC will be correcting its previous IRR. And the previous IRR was made to supplant some loopholes found in RA 6735. So pag-uwi na lang natin 6735, tapos issue ng, or perhaps the Congress can make a very tight law na hindi na kailangan ng IRR. Kaya ko po sinasabi ito, Madam Chair, napakarami na pong pangyayari na yung IRR, iniba yung batas. Meron po akong encounter doon na wala na dito yung mga Department of Health, yung Milk Code of the Philippines, binago nila.
So, follow up lang ako. Tapos sinabi ninyo, okay lang. For all our legal luminaries, the justices who are here, perhaps you can help us. Perhaps the reason why COMELEC Resolution 10650 is so defective is because the law nga that is trying to implement this, RA 6735, is insufficient to cover the PI as conceived in the constitutional amendment. Could this be the case? Because in the decision of Lambino versus COMELEC, I believe the ponente being here, the Supreme Court categorically declined to revisit the Santiago ruling. Assuming for a moment that no motions for reconsideration were filed in Lambino, would you agree, Chairman Garcia, that the Santiago ruling remains valid because you have given interviews stating the contrary?
Madam Chair, Your Honors, this is a personal opinion as a former Dean of the College of Law and a former law professor. It will not bind the entire commission because this is being asked of me. With the kind indulgence of everybody. If we are going to read the case of Santiago versus COMELEC, indeed, the voting was 8-6 in favor of insufficiency. However, Madam Chair, Your Honors, if you are going to read a motion for reconsideration, there was a sudden turnaround. It was a 6-6 voting, Madam Chair, Your Honors. In that 6-6 voting, Justice Hermosissima reversed himself and sided with the 5 who voted to declare 6725 as sufficient. And Justice Vito refused to resolve Republic Act 6725 or its insufficiency or sufficient. One justice inhibited himself, and the other justice said it's premature. That's why the voting after the motion for reconsideration.
But Chairman, the reality is, in his resolution of November 21, 2006, the Supreme Court dismissed all the MRs. Even if there was a sentence in that resolution saying the 10 members reiterated their position as shown by their various opinions, the decision is upheld as sufficient and adequate to amend through a people's initiative. Are you saying that this single sentence reverses the Santiago ruling? Yes, let him answer, please.
Chair, Your Honors, a reading of the dissenting opinion of Justice Pangaliban, of Justice Renato Puno would reveal that what was mentioned in the decision as to be having an injunction, a permanent injunction, is the Delphine Edition. It is never intended by the court to be a prohibition in future cases for purposes of the determination of the applicability.
Yes, I don't think that's the question we're asking. It's very clear from the statement that the separate opinions, the 10 justices already mentioned, had promulgated their opinions as early as October, before the MRs in November. Upon the resolution of the MR, the 10 justices merely reiterated what they had already said. So if the separate opinions of October 25, Lambino Convention were not enough to overturn Santiago, how can the mere reiteration of these same opinions in November 21 suddenly overturn the entire Santiago doctrine?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
If I may, Madam Chair, just to add to the response of the good chairman to the chair's question, maybe the chair could also ask Justice Carpio to weigh in on this question.
Yes, I was going to allow Chairman Garcia, and then after that, of course, the very enlightened and personal knowledge of Justice Carpio. Yes, Chairman Garcia.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. As far as because we are talking now of the Lambino versus Covenant decision, indeed, there was the Supreme Court said that they are not the liberty at that time to depart from the ruling in the case of Santiago versus Covenant. But however, again, it's subject to interpretation in the motion for reconsideration. There was this one paragraph which says the 10 justices of the Supreme Court are of the opinion that Republic of 6735 is sufficient.
With the permission of the chairperson. But just at this point, Senator Tolentino, but as lawyers too, Chairman Garcia, again, you're expressing your personal opinion, not in a way binding the commission. It is clearly obiter because it was not needed to dispose of the case. The case was already disposed of. That statement had nothing to do with the disposition of the case on the merits. Now, I will not bind you to an answer, but a lawyer can interpret that too, in that manner. That although that statement was made in the minute resolution of Lambino, that is obiter insofar as the main case which the court disposed of already, as Senator Marcos said. All of the cases and petitions were dismissed. It would be fair to interpret it that way as well. Would that be a fair statement?
Coming from a very respected legal luminary such as the Honorable Senator, we will definitely respect such a position. But of course, that will be the subject of a future litigation again in the Supreme Court. That's why, again, perhaps it's the best time that this legal issue be resolved. We finally have the Honorable.
With the indulgence of
Thank you very much, Senator Tolentino. Would you like to invite Justice Carpio?
Justice Carpio can join us.
Yes, Madam Chair, Your Honors, if you look at the main decision in Lambino, you have to look at the dispositive portion. The dispositive portion, which is the binding portion, says the petitions are dismissed. And then in the motion for recon, the resolution of the court says the MR is denied with finality. So there is no reversal of Santiago because you have to look at the dispositive portion, that is the portion that binds everybody. So the statement in the MR that the 10 justices maintain their position is just a statement what these 10 justices said, which was already ruled in the main decision. So the dispositive portion should prevail. And there is nothing in the dispositive portion that reverses Santiago. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the very simple and truly enlightening clarification, Justice Carpio. I know that you had a previous engagement and made a real effort to join us, so thank you for your participation. It's been most enlightening and clarifies that in fact Lambino does not repeal or change the Santiago ruling. Thank you. Senator Tolentino.
No further questions, Madam Chair. Perhaps the next step for this Congress to do is amending public access at 3.5 and then the next resolution. appropriate resolutions to implement the amendment of, unless Justice Asuna would want to say something.
Maraming salamat, Senator Tol, and we'd like to call on Justice Asuna's wait patiently from early this morning. If Senator Cheese will allow the Justice to please first state the floor. Thank you, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In connection with the Lambino versus Comelec, I was one of the justices who voted in that case. I was one of those who, one of the 10, whose opinion was that Republic Act 6735 was sufficient to support an initiative to amend the Constitution. But the ruling was that there was no need to examine whether or not the Santiago ruling should be reviewed, because in the Lambino case, it was very clear that the proposal was a revision, and therefore it cannot be done by initiative. So the ruling was petition denied because it's one for revision. In the motion for reconsideration, it is true that there's the last paragraph that says that the 10 justices maintain their position that the law, Public Act 6735, is sufficient. However, I believe that, although I was one of the 10, I believe that that is not a binding statement. It merely reiterated our obiter dictum, our academic opinion, but it's not part of the ruling, because as the main decision said, it is not necessary to go into that. That is what Justice Holmes called economy of jurisprudence. You decide only what has to be decided. You reserve for future cases what needs to be decided, so that it will not bind future Supreme Court. That is economy of jurisprudence. So I respect that. Furthermore, Madam Chair, if we have reverse our position and reverse Santiago, the dispositive portion would have partly granted the petition, not denied completely. It would have said, wherefore the petition is partly granted to the extent that Santiago versus Comelec is reversed. But the petition is denied because it is for revision. But we didn't do that. We denied the petition completely. So that means we did not go into the review of Santiago versus Comelec. The same with the motion for reconsideration. It was, the dispositive portion said, all the motions for reconsideration are hereby denied. Otherwise, it would have said, partly granted by reversing Santiago versus Comelec. We did not. So as Justice Carter said, it's the dispositive portion that counts. And the dispositive portion in the Lambino case very clearly did not reverse or even touch upon Santiago versus Comelec. And therefore, I believe it still stands. Moreover, Madam Chair, the deficiencies pointed out by Chief Justice Davide in Republic Act 6735, the Santiago versus Comelec case, is that it is insufficient, inadequate, and